So here guys, this is the agenda. We are going to look into the cybersecurity field. What is cybersecurity? What is information security? What are the domains? This is a very huge field. What are the domains? What are the job roles? What are the skills that you will require to apply for those job roles? Certifications you'll require to make yourself skilled. What will be the complete roadmap? So we'll be starting with what is cybersecurity and what is information security, guys. So when I say this term information security, we are securing all the information. Now, information that could be physical information and that could be digital information. So physical information like any sensitive document that you are having, that is physical information. Digital data, digital information, you are keeping it on the computers, servers, information that is being communicated in the network, it is being stored, it is being processed. That is your digital data, digital information. So information security is protecting, securing both physical data and digital data. On the other hand, when I say cyber security, it is dealing with, it is securing only your digital data from the internet. That is cyber security. Now, one more difference that is between information and cyber is that in information security, we are protecting against or from human threats and non-human threats. So, human threats like your cyber attackers, your hacktivists, your cyber criminals, your nation state wide actors. These are all your human threats. Non-human threats like your tsunami, your earthquake, maybe if the fire has broken out in your data center, in your organization, so protecting against that fire will be a part of information security policy, guys. But when I say cyber security, we are protecting this digital information from human threats only. Information security is dealing with both physical data and digital data. We are protecting both. So I can write here, this is a superset, that is your information security, protecting physical and digital data. Now, cyber security is a subset. This is your cyber security. It is a subset of information security that is only protecting your digital data from the human threats. Okay, so this is very, very important. What is cyber security? Protecting digital data from the internet. So before we jump into cybersecurity, we need to understand what is information security, guys. So what we have here is three pillars of information security. That is your confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So this is also what we call as CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So when I say confidentiality, confidentiality refers to protecting information from unauthorized access. Like for example, if I have to give a layman example here, suppose you guys would have heard that right now SSC examination has took place, and it is alleged that the answer sheet of that SSC exam was already disclosed, was already breached before even the SSC exam took place. Can I say this situation to be a breach of confidentiality pillar? Yes or no, guys? Is the disclosure of answer sheet before the exam taking place, is it breach of this confidentiality pillar? Right. So that is what you need to protect, the disclosure of that answer sheet beforehand. before the exam take place, you need to protect, you need to make sure that those answer sheets will remain confidential. That is your confidentiality pill. So let us see some examples of this, what mean by confidentiality and how it can be breached. Like one way of breaching the confidentiality could be maybe accidental disclosure. How about if there is any employee and he has mistakenly sent an email to some wrong recipient, and that email was having some digital sensitive information? Will that be the breach of confidentiality pillar? Yes. How about in another scenario? What if you are having some data and you are improperly disposing that data, sensitive data? Like in your organization, you would be having some physical paper which has having some sensitive document data there. And what you did, you threw that paper into the dustbins without even shredding it. Even though there were shredders that are installed on your organization. So that that can also lead to the breach in confidentiality. What can happen, that maybe attackers, they can go to the dump sites, and from there they can retrieve that physical data, that sensitive document, and they can get to know that sensitive maybe network organization charts are there, some credit card information, employees personal details are there, so that will be disclosed. So now if you see here, when I say confidentiality is a pillar of information security, and information security was dealing with both physical data and digital data, securing both. So here, both the example you can see disclosure of email, that is the digital data getting disclosed, and physical paper, that is your physical or sensitive document, that is getting disclosed, that is physical. So confidentiality is protecting both digital and physical data. Then what are other ways with which confidentiality can be breached? How about if you're having weak passwords? Some easily guessable passwords you're having for your account, like QWERTY, password 123. How about if attacker is sniffing the network? So what I mean by sniffing the network, let us say this is one individual, let us say it to be Reggie, and this is another one, that is Satish Kumar. Okay. So here, let us say they want to send some data. Now, what if there is an unauthorized individual? What if there is an attacker who is sniffing, who is eavesdropping this data, who is eavesdropping the communication that is happening between these two individuals? So that would also result in the breach in confidentiality pillar. So let me show it to you with an example. So let us say if you are on a particular net banking website like this here, testfire.net. Okay. So in this case, so yes, it is not secure. You can see here this lockpad option, and you can see here that the lock here, it is not secure, it is telling me, because here the connection that has been established is your HTTP protocol. Correct, Reggie. So this is HTTP protocol that is here working, which is not a secured protocol. It is unencrypted protocol here. So what can happen here in this case, guys? Let us say I am an attacker, okay, and I am running a sniffing tool. So don't go into the technical part. I'm just giving you an overview here. So I'm running the sniffing tool with which I can eavesdrop or sniff the communication that might be happening between the particular victim and the server and the testfire.com server. So between the victim and the website here, so let us say the victim is there and victim is writing his credentials. And this is a HTTP protocol where the connection is not secure. So victim wrote here the credentials as admin, and admin, he clicks on login and he's able to get access to his account. But the communication that was happening, the credentials that the victim sent, admin and admin, if the attacker was also there in my network, attacker can simply sniff those credentials. And here, using this tool Wireshark, attacker was able to see that victim wrote these credentials that were admin and admin. So, guys, right now, the communication that was happening between the victim and the particular website, can I say, did the attacker breach this confidentiality pillar here, guys? Did the confidentiality was breached here or not? It was breached here. So now how can I protect it? I can protect it with HTTPS, that is HTTPS secured. So what I can show you is I can have an encryption here. Using encryption, I can perform that. So right now, what I'm showing you both the side, offensive side, how attacker is sniffing, how attacker is breaking this, exploiting this vulnerability, and how now the defensive side can work. How we can make this communication secured is by using encryption. So what is encryption here? What I will do in the encryption part, here you are sending this plain text, so you both the particular sender and the receiver, maybe through some backend secure channel, they will come to a conclusion or agreement. They will have come to a conclusion that okay, they are going to use this secret key here. Okay, this shared key they are going to use. So now the sender, it is going to use that key to encrypt the plain text, the readable text, into some cipher text. That is your non-gibberish, that is your gibberish non-readable text. That is your cipher text. And using the same key, the receiver will going to decrypt. That is converting your cipher text back to the plain text. So that is how using encryption you can defend, you can secure your communication that is happening between these two individuals. So how it is going to work, let me show it to you using this site. Here let us say that the sender is there. Okay. So sender is writing here hello, that is plain text. It is readable text. Now here the sender is going to use a secret key, let us say to be this key, and using this key it is going to encrypt. Now you can see here that this is the cipher text. It is not, it is gibberish, non-readable to anyone. No one can make sense out of this cipher text. Now guys, this cipher text is sent via the network, and now only your receiver knows the secret key. So only a sender and receiver knows the secret key. Now receiver will use the same secret key to decrypt, to convert the cipher text back to the plain text, guys. And this is how the communication has happened between the sender and the receiver. So guys, now tell me, once the defensive side has put the encryption in place, will your confidentiality pillar is breached or not now? So now it is not breached here. Why? Because now the connection that could be there between them, it is secured one. One example of that, that is if we were using here this HTTP protocol. So the secured one is your HTTPS protocol. So that is your confidentiality pillar. making sure the data is not disclosed, data is protected from unauthorized individual. Then second pillar we have is your integrity pillar. Integrity pillar means that the data have not been accidentally altered or modified by an unauthorized user. So that is your integrity pillar. Now let me give you once again a layman example here. So if you guys watch, let us say cricket match, okay. Now in the cricket match, let us say there is a bowler, and what bowler has done, bowler has tampered the ball. Maybe using some sandpaper, he has tampered the ball. Now, because of that, maybe the ball could reverse swing more or off swing more, and because of that, he made his team won the match by cheating. Later down the line, umpire caught that bowler. He got to came into the possession that he was having sandpaper with him, and with that, umpire made this match invalid. So you would have heard this type of news next day in the headline that integrity of the match was breached, guys. So this type of headline you would have heard. So when I say integrity, integrity means protecting your data against modification, against alteration from any unauthorized individual. That is your integrity. So here, guys, let me show it to you in a setting, in let us say in a hospital setting. So in this case, let us say this is a receptionist and this is the server here. Okay. So what the receptionist is going for, receptionist is like just filling up a form of a patient number, some medical records, it is filling of the patient, and these medical records will be stored on the server. What if attacker came in between, and attacker modified, attacker tampered some message here, this record here of that patient? Now, guys, this is not a cricket match that is happening. This is a life or death scenario for that patient. Because of that medical records, maybe the diagnosis from the doctor could differ. So that is why protecting against this tampering of the medical records in transit or when it is stored on the server, it is very very important. It is very very important to protect this integrity pillar, guys. So now what we can do, what can we have the mechanism here from the defensive perspective? That is your hashing, guys. So if you're having this message here, what I can do is I can create a summary of that message. That is your hash. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to send the message along with the hash to the particular server. Now here, if the attacker is there, and attacker changes changes the message here. Now what the server is going to do, server is going to once again recalculate the hash of the received message, that is your hash, let us say hash 2, and it is going to compare the hash that was sent along with that message. If the hash is same, that means no tampering is done. If the hash is different, that means someone did tampered my message here. So hash is a summary of that message. Now for a fixed message, you will always get a fixed message digest, fixed hash. If you change the message, if the message is different, if it is M2, then the hash that will be calculated will also be different. That is your hash, a summary of the message. So let us see it with a practical once again, guys. What is this integrity pillar is all about? So here I'm going to open this site. Now guys, what you have to do, first of all, I'm just having this normal scenario here. So here in this case, what is happening? This is the sender. It is sending this message hello along with the hash. So this is an MD5 hash generator here. So I'm writing here hello. I'll click on generate, and this is the hash that I got of this message here. Okay. So sender is sending message along with the hash. Now receiver will once again calculate the hash of this received message, that is hello. So once again it will turn out to be the same. No tampering is done. And since both the message, the receiver hash that it has calculated of this received message and the hash that was sent, both are same, so it means no attack has happened, no tampering has happened of this message. Now guys, in the attacker scenario, once again sender is sending this hello message along with the hash. Now receiver, what receiver does, receiver gets this message, but attack happened. Someone attacked here and tampered the message from hello to hello one. So receiver got this message hello one along with the hash of this message from the sender side. Now guys, every one of you go to this particular site and let me see who is the first one to calculate the hash, the MD5 hash of the received message from the receiver end. What will be the receiver who will calculate the message here of this message here? What will be the hash? So Reggie, also make sure that it is here the exact same message. If it is in capital letters, make sure it is in capital letters as well. Otherwise, if there is any change in the character, if you even make it to the lowercase, then the message will be entirely different. So here, what is the new hash? Yes, correct, Aditya. So here, as you can see here, that the message received by the receiver here is hello one. So I have just added one character here, one, and I'll click on generate. So guys, now you can see this is the hash. This is the hash that the receiver has calculated. Now, is the hash different or same? And based upon that, whether the integrity pillar will be protected or not. The hash you can see here, both the hash, is it different or same? It is different entirely. So now the receiver knows, okay, someone tampered this message here, and because of that, will the receiver is going to guys accept or discard the message here? Is it going to be accepted or the message is going to be discarded here? It is going to be discarded now, guys, because hash came out to be different. So this was one very small practical of how you can have your integrity pillar breached, alteration can happen, and how using hash from the defensive side you can also protect this integrity pillar, guys. Now we'll be moving to our next pillar, that is your availability pillar. So availability pillar means data is accessible when you need them. So how many of you guys have gone to e-commerce site like Amazon or Flipkart.com? There you participated in a mega festival sale, maybe a big billion sale that is happening, And on that particular day, have you guys felt some sluggishness, some slow responded by that website? Have you guys felt that? Maybe in any festival day, maybe you went to any different, maybe Mintra, maybe Savannah for buying some clothes. Did you have felt maybe on some very, very mega festival day some sluggishness by the website, some slow response by the website? So that could that could be your availability pillar that could be at breach there. So why it is very, very important for these huge corporate, your huge e-corporate e-commerce websites to maintain this availability pillar. Let us say you went to the festival sale for Amazon.com. There you were not able to buy a product for a cheap price because website turned out to be down. So if you are given an opportunity to participate in another e-commerce site like Flipkart, and there you are able to buy that product for that intended cheap price, you are going to always participate in those festival sales only by Flipkart because you trust this site. You know that in the duration of that huge traffic in those festival day sale, the site will be working. So here, why availability pillar is important? It is important because from the Amazon.com perspective, they can lose their customer base. What if banking website is not working? Your banking servers are down. That can lose your bank. It can uh, have an impact on their reputation. It can have impact, and because of that, maybe the customer can shift to other bank. That is why availability pillar is very, very important. So let us see some example of this where the availability pillar can be breached from the offensive side, from the attacker side. That is your first one. That is your DOS attack. Denial of service attack, guys. So what can happen in DOS attack? Here attacker, they can overwhelm these servers with high volume of traffic, causing them to become unavailable to the legitimate users. That is your DOS attack. Second could be that there could be some kind of hardware failure. There could be some kind of software failures. What if the server is malfunctioning, hardware component is malfunctioning, some software bugs are introduced here, system is crashing. That can also prevent. Maybe some bandwidth issues are happening, some infrastructure failure has happened. So that can also prevent accessing the services of those web server. How about some kind of a cyber attack has happened? So does anyone of you know this attack that is your ransomware attack? Anyone know this attack, guys? Yes or no in the chat box? Okay, some people have heard this ransom attack. So what is this ransomware attack? Okay, so let me show it to you. This attack here. Here what happens? This is the attacker. Now, as I told you, this process of encryption, okay, how the encryption works. Now, attacker uses the same encryption here. And let us say from the organization perspective, there is some asset that is stored on the server, some critical asset that is important for the business operation. that is stored in the server. What attacker is going to do with the help of ransomware malware, attacker is going to encrypt this asset here. So organization will not be able to access this asset. Now, now attacker is going to demand some kind of a ransom from organization, and only when the organization gives the ransom to the attacker, only then the attacker is going to provide you the key. This is the key that we talked about, this secret key that is important here to decrypt and encrypt. So then only attacker is going to provide this decryption key to the organization, and then organization can access that asset. So that is your ransomware attack, where attacker is demanding ransom for in order to provide a decryption key to the organization so that they can access that encrypted data. So how this will work? Let us say this is the victim system here, and what victim system did here, that he clicked upon this ransomware malware. Okay, so I'm going to click upon this ransomware malware, and you will see my whole system is going to get encrypted. All the files that you can see here, it is going to get encrypted. You can see encryption is happening here. That is my ransomware attack, guys. So now let us see some defensive measures that can happen. One measure against DOS attack, denial of service attack, we can have is your load balancers. So here what we will do is that the traffic that is coming here, overwhelming traffic, we are going to distribute this load across multiple servers. So let us say this is server 1, server 2, server 3, and server 4. So that load is going to be distributed across multiple servers using different load balancing techniques. That is a load balancer to mitigate this DOS attack. We have hardware and software attacks, your failures that can happen. So if the website was hosted on, let us say this server 2, let us say this is site.com. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have redundancy here. I'm going to host this site.com not just on server 2, but on server 1 also, server 3 also, server 4 also. So in case of some hardware failure or software failure of server 2, what I can do, I can make sure that the site is up and running from the different server, so that legitimate user is still able to access that particular site.com from different server. That is redundancy. Having extra backup, having extra server there, so that in case of failover, the other server will take over, and still the site will be accessible to the legitimate user. Then in case of ransomware attack, guys, so right now what happened here in this system, ransomware attack happened. And now you can see, if I show you here, all the files, like this is the user here, you can see all the files are getting encrypted here, right? So now if all the files are getting encrypted, how? What is the mitigation technique here to protect against this ransomware malware? What can we do as an organization, guys? Can any one of you think? Correct, correct, Reggie. What we can do here is we can have backups. We can have snapshots of that system. Periodically, we'll be backing up our asset. So in case of ransomware attack, if our asset gets encrypted, we can restore our asset from this backup. So now what I have done here is, okay, as you can see, whole my whole system is getting encrypted here. So I already implemented a mitigation technique that was my snapshot. So what I'm going to do, I am going to revert back. Like let me show it to you this snapshot that I took on this particular date, some date I took this snapshot. So I can revert back my whole system. I'll click on yes, and you will see my whole system is going to get restored to that particular date when I took that snapshot. And now you guys can see once again my system booted up, and here the assets that were present in my system are now not in encrypted format. So like if I show you here under C, once again for that user, you guys can see now no data is encrypted here. So that is how you can restore your assets from backups from snapshots. And you can have this availability pillar protected. So these are the three pillars of information security, guys. So just to know that we have covered up the basics of cybersecurity and information security, let us see these scenarios. Which pillar is getting breached? Confidentiality, integrity, or availability? So the first scenario here says that you are a employee in your workspace and you're trying to log in into your account, but you are getting an error which says your account has been logged due to multiple failed attempts to log in. So which pillar is getting breached here, guys? Confidentiality, integrity, or availability? If the employee is not able to access his account, will the employee, think it from the organization perspective, think it from the employee's perspective, will the employee will he be able to perform his daily tasks, his daily course, whatever the task, the role is of that employee in the organization, will he be able to fulfill that role on that particular day? If the account is not available to that particular employee, he will not be able to do that. So which pillar is getting breached here? Availability pillar. The account is not available to that particular individual. So everyone correct. Availability is the correct answer here. Now let us see another scenario. Here you are an employee and you are sending an email to these four people. But what happened? You accidentally send that employee more than four people. To this also you send. Now this individual leaked that data that was in the email to the public. The content was disclosed to the public. Which pillar is getting breached here? Confidentiality, integrity, or availability, guys? That is confidentiality. Now, next scenario, guys, is this is you at your workspace. You saw some data verification alarm generated because some attacker, what he did, he altered some data in the server. Which pillar is getting breached here? So let me also show you to you practically here. Let us say this is a file you are having. Okay, I'm just creating a new file 123.txt, 1234.txt, and here let us say this is cyber security webinar going on. Okay, so this is a file I'm having. So you guys can see this is the content of this file. Now attacker came, okay, attacker came and maybe attacker can modify this file. So will the alarm will be generated or not? So we talked about in integrity, we were having hashing, right? So what is the hash? If I write here MD5 sum hash of this file 1234.txt, this is the hash of this file. Now attacker came, and attacker, what he did, attacker modified this file. Okay, so I am going to modify this file here, attacker. I am going to modify something here. Okay, like this. Now data verification alarm was generated, because now if you will once again the calculate the hash of this file, can you guys see the hash of this file completely changed? Because you changed the content, and because of that it could be possible that integrity was breached, some modification happened, it was it took place, an alarm was generated, data verification alarm. So integrity pillar was getting breached here. That is what you got to know, because here the hash got changed. Okay. So this is why it is very, very important to know CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So now once we are done with the basics of information security and cyber security, now let us see why you want to opt for an area for a career in the cybersecurity. Because of these reasons, guys. Organization is handling sensitive data. They need to protect that sensitive data. They're having financial records, they're having health records of the patients, they're having trade secrets, some very, very restrictive data. For example, guys, if I give you an example of Coca-Cola company, so what is the trade secret of that Coca-Cola company? Their chemical formula with which they are creating the Coca-Cola drinks. What if that chemical formula is leaked? It is known to the local vendors. Can they replicate the Coca-Cola drink? Will this information, this trade secret, if they got to know, will that will be a huge blow to the Coca-Cola organization. So cyber security, you need to protect that. You need to protect the sensitive information. You need to protect the customer details, customer credit card details. If it got stolen, impact will be very, very huge. It will be very massive. Like in case of there was an organization, Equifax organization, in 2017, around 147 million people of of the US, their credit card details got leaked. That was a huge blow to that organization. Trust was gone, reputation was gone. Also, customer detail. Attackers can now use those customer your credit card details to impersonate that customer, maybe to perform some fraudulent activity there. They can perform that. That is why cybersecurity is very important. Prevention of identity theft. Attackers, they often they steal the user credentials, their personal data to commit some fraud. Maintaining trust and reputation. Just a single breach, guys, can cause the customers to lose confidence in that company. That is why cyber security is very important. Legal compliance. As an organization, you have to be compliant with different regulations. Your GDPR, your DPDP Act, HIPAA, RBI regulations. You have to be in compliant with that. If you're not compliant, you will be facing some heavy fines. So, have you guys used this site that is free charge to maybe top up your mobile phones, or maybe in the uh, childhood days also, maybe you might have used this site, free charge. Nowadays, you are using UPI only. So if you see here in the free charge at the very bottom, you will see that it is compliant PCI DSS. It is certified PCI DSS. So what I mean by that, what I mean by that, that the customers that are going on this site, they want to top up their mobile phone, they want to recharge it. So they are writing maybe via debit card, they are paying the amount here. So if the site is PCI DSS compliant, it means that they are maintaining a standard where when you are entering your credit card details, maybe if you are storing your credit card details, debit card details, they are going to be stored securely. That is, you can trust with the free charge because they're compliant with PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. So that is the compliant that is making you trust this free charge here, this site here. You can recharge your mobile SIM cards, your number, number there. Operational continuity. Cyber attacks can halt your business operation. They can cost the businesses their time, their money. Like in case of ransomware attack, very famous attack happened, that was WannaCry ransomware attack, which shut down critical infrastructures like hospitals. So what happened because of that? Loss of life could happen. These critical service halted. Business operations were affected. That is why to protect against cyber attacks also, cyber security is very important. So now that we know, okay, we need to do something about it. Like I showed it to you here, when you were using HTTP protocol, anyone can sniff your data. So what I did from the defensive perspective, through the cybersecurity perspective, we made our connection, we made our communication secure. When we were having integrity breached, we introduced hashing. When we were having ransomware attack, this system which was got encrypted, what we did, what measure we implemented backups, we implemented your snapshots. So now you can see here why cybersecurity is important. And if you want to enter into the cybersecurity field, guys, these are the prerequisites, you can say, some essential fundamentals, you can say, that you need to be aware about. So what are these? Computer basics. You need to understand how your hardware works, how your software works, operating system interact. So like you need to get to know about how your system boots up, how your processes are working, how your memory is functioning, right? Basically how the operating system interacts, Linux systems, your Windows systems, how they works actually. That is something you need to work upon. You need to know the computer basics. After that, you need to also know about the web fundamentals, how your internet runs, on what protocols your internet runs. Some major protocols, your HTTP protocol, DNS, FTP, SMTP. So these are like very most common target point of attacks. So you need to understand how this protocol works in order to defend also against the attackers. Then network basics, very important. Learning the OSI model, because networking is, you can say, the backbone of cybersecurity. Learning the TCP/IP model, ARP protocol, routing, switching, common devices that are used in networking, that is, you need to know. Like if I showed you this Wireshark tool here, okay. So using the Wireshark tool, what I was able to show you here, like if I run this Wireshark, So here you can see, like, once you know the networking part, okay, these are the packets that are sent. This is the TCP/IP model that is being working here between the sender and the receiver. So how to analyze? How to analyze the packets that you have captured? Maybe during a cyber attack. How to know if the packet is malicious or not? So all these things, because of that, you need to make sure that your networking basics are, you are knowing about the networking part, how these things are working at the backend. TCP/IP model, OSI model, for reference perspective, you need to know about the networking basics. Then getting hands-on on Linux, Kali, Windows, at least maybe later down the line, you need to also know how mobile operating system, if you want to perform pen testing on mobile devices also. So operating system like Android, iOS, any one of them you can choose. Later down the line, you need to also get to know these operating system. Now, what is the must is your Linux. Why? Because mostly all your Fortune 500 companies, you can say, the data, the customer data, everything that is kept, these are kept on your Linux distros, Red Hat distros that are being kept there, all this data. So you need to get familiar with the Linux also. Windows, you need to get to know about that also, how the processes works. If you want to like analyze those processes, so you need to know how your Windows work as well. Then programming. So if you are just trying to enter into the cybersecurity field, I can say programming is, maybe you can avoid for a particular duration of time. But if you want to have a good career in cybersecurity, you need to know the program. Maybe Python, you need to understand. This is a very, very beginner scripting language. So you can start with Python. You can have C, you can have JavaScript if you want to go with the web application pen testing. So how in the front end your HTML, CSS, JavaScript is working. In the back end, your PHP, your Node.js, all these scripting languages are there. Server-side scripting languages, how they are working. So you need to know, you need to be aware about those programming languages as well. You cannot shy away from, you cannot run away from programming languages if you want to have a good career in cybersecurity, guys. Maybe for the first 1 or 2 years, maybe for the entry level jobs, yes, programming might not be required at that point, but later down the line, you need to be aware about programming languages also to automate your task as well. Then command line skills. So right now I showed you these skills, how I am interacting with the terminal, how you might be interacting in the Windows PowerShell also, your CMD also. So you need to be also very, very efficient in utilizing these CLIs, command line interface. That is command line skills you need to have. These are the prerequisites before you before you choose also any of the cybersecurity field, whether it is your offensive field or your defensive field. So now we also have some academic pathways. Okay. So what is the traditional way to enter the cybersecurity? That is through your computer science courses. So BTech, BCA, BSc, you can go for. This is going to provide you a very, very broad foundation in your IT. It is going to cover all the prerequisites that we discussed here. If you're opting for BTech, right? Then nowadays, what is happening? The universities, they are also offering specialized courses, not just traditional BTech CSE program, but specialized cybersecurity courses are also there. So these tailored programs, they are focusing directly on your cyber security. on the hacking part. So you can learn directly the pen testing part, the SOC part in your curriculum only. In your 4 years that you are going to have in your BTech, that is something you are going to be specializing in. Then after that, if you want to, like this is the optional, if you want to go for post graduate courses, so you can have your MTech here, MCA, MSc, you can have there. That is your postgraduate course you can have. Then PG diploma. So PG diploma here for maybe working professionals if you want to shift. If you're a graduate and maybe you have just done a traditional BTech course, now for a very shorter duration of time, like within just 6 months or to 12 months, you need certain type of a boot camp, you need certain type of like very focused path for cybersecurity. So that is also there. Usually boot camps they run for 6 to 12 months, and they can prepare you also for the entry level security roles, cybersecurity roles very quickly. That is what PG diploma we are having nowadays. And the last part is very important part, art of Googling. So ability to research, ability to troubleshoot, ability to self learn. This is, if I have to say, out of everything, this is the most important skill that you need to have, guys, in cybersecurity, because every day you need to learn something new. You need to upgrade something in the cybersecurity field. So this is the skill oriented field, guys. If you want to go into cybersecurity, you need to know the art of Googling. Yes, Arti, you can say art of Googling can be changed to art of prompt engineering as well. But troubleshooting part is something that you have to deal with in cybersecurity. Because what happens, let us say you use ChatGPT, or also you just write here, perform and map for Linux. Okay, so you want to use this tool and map, how to perform this and map. So you got these links here, one link, two link, three link, four link, five link. In cybersecurity, guys, even if you go with these links, you will follow the steps, exact steps, the 5 steps that would be written in those links. Still, in your environment, in your organization, those 5 steps, I can guarantee you, almost 60 to 70% of the time, they are not going to work. Because in your organization, the environment is different. So, until and unless you know how to troubleshoot, until and unless you are very much, you have cleared your prerequisites here, until and unless you are not curious, like you are just looking into the first 5 links, you not want to look into like 15 to 20 links, maybe even it could take even more. So that is something, that is your persistence, not giving up attitude, that is very important. And how to Google, how to troubleshoot, how to research is very important in cybersecurity. Why? Because every day you will be facing some new type of threat, new type of malwares you will be facing, you will be working upon that. So there, this never giving up attitude, how to troubleshoot, it is self learning, very crucial part in cybersecurity, guys. Now let us say, okay, so let us assuming that maybe you are done with the prerequisite and you are a fresher here, You have some basic idea about the computer science, networking, everything you have. Now what you're going to do? Now what you're going to do here is you need to choose one path in cybersecurity. So it is a very, very huge domain. So here you can either go for offensive side, or you can also go for defensive side. So what is your offensive security? So offensive security is you are thinking like an attacker. So you will be hired. So what will be your role? Like, let us say you got an entry level job as a junior pen tester. So what will be your role is you will be acting as an attacker, and you will try to perform a pen test. You will try to exploit the system in the organization. You're going to test, maybe the organization is going to have, let us say, some kind of web application. You're going to pen test that. If they're having network pen testing, some systems are there, you need to perform pen testing on that network, you are going to do that. IoT systems are there, you need to pen test that. Wi-Fi systems are there, you need to pen test that. That is your junior penetration tester or penetration tester also. So offensive security, here professionals are hired and they simulate some cyber attacks to find the vulnerabilities before the real attackers are going to find the vulnerabilities in your organization. So what is your role? You will find the vulnerabilities before the real attacker does, and then here you will be now giving that report to the organization, and then the defensive side is going to fix those vulnerabilities in the organization. So what is defensive security? It is about protecting the systems, the data. So here you are the professional. If you are getting an entry level job in defensive security, you're focusing upon detecting the attack in the organization. You're focusing upon preventing the attack. You're focusing upon responding to that attack. That is the role of defensive security. So here you will be monitoring the networks. Here you will be hunting for the threats in the organization. If some attack happen, incident response will be there. Team will be there. They are going to respond to that incident that has happened. If after that the incident has happened, you are going to collect the evidences. Forensic team would be there. So that is your defensive security, guys. So now let us look into some of the job roles in your offensive security. So in the offensive security, we have pen tester and we have red teamer. So what is a pen tester? So pen tester here will be focusing upon exploiting specific vulnerabilities to gain some unauthorized access. So like what is happening, like you will be given a scope. The pen tester is there, and the you are hired as a pen tester. This is the entry level job, or a junior pen tester. So you will be given a scope. What is a scope? Scope here is like, let us say you are given, in the organization there are 100 systems. Okay, so out of the 100 systems, you are given a scope that you can perform pen testing on just first 20 systems. Then in the scope you are given, okay, the organization is also having an external public facing website, so you can perform pen testing upon that. So that is the scope that is given to you. So this scope is a sacred law, guys. This is a pre-engagement phase where you cannot be out of scope. Like you have to perform pen testing, you need to hack. Okay, these systems here, but you cannot attack the 21st system, 21st to 100 systems that are there. You cannot attack that. Only the first 20 systems which are in your scope, you can only hack those. That is your pen testing. This is very, very focused. Like a scope will be given to you. Some methodologies could also be given to you. Only these methodologies, only these specific set of vulnerabilities you need to find out. That is your pen testing. A focused, time restrained approach, security assessment. That is your pen testing, guys. So usually you will be given a role of a junior pen tester as an entry level. Then you can maybe once you'll be given this role, JPT role, junior pen tester role, or pen tester role. That would be your most likely first job title. And once few years have elapsed, once you have mastered the technical testing, reporting, then you can get advanced roles like your red team operator, maybe some other roles like your exploit developer. So all these roles you can get. So what is a red team then? This is all under the offensive side, okay? Pen testing and red teaming. So red teaming is not an entry level job, okay? This is, you will be getting a pen tester role. After few years you can go to red teamer, you can become a red teamer here. So what red teamer will do, red teamer will simulate real world attacks to uncover gaps across system, people and processes. So here guys, in the red teaming, this is a broader, this is a more realistic security assessment you are going to perform. You are not focusing upon just a scope. Here you are given an open slate. Organization, they are going to hire you a red teamer and they are going to give you, okay, this is it. Now do your job. Now try to exploit anything you can to take down this organization. That is the red teamer. You are given open slate. There is no scope like first 20 systems. No, you are given no time restriction. Like time restriction could be there for 6 months. If you're hired as a pen tester, you will be given like maybe 2 weeks to perform the pen test. Very, very time restraint approach is it. You need to generate the report in that 2 weeks and you need to submit that to whatever the vulnerabilities you were able to find out within the 2 weeks. That is your pen testing. But in red teaming, time restraint is not there. No scope is there. What I'm when I say no scope, like definitely some restriction will be there. Like for red teamers, the employees that are in the organization, definitely you cannot look into their personal Gmails. Some restrictions are going to be there, but definitely this is like a very, very broad, a realistic simulation of attack that is happening in the red team. Here you can perform attack not only on the system but also on the people, guys. So here red teamer is not only going to exploit the system but also the people. They can also try to take advantage of the people here, because the weakest link in the information system security is your human link. They can create phishing links, some fake links they can create. Let us say red teamers, they can perform social engineering. Maybe we are using a tool that is your Z Fisher. So let me just run this tool here. Let me show it to you. So once again, do not go into the technical part. Just an overview I'm giving. Let us say red teamer he created a login page, a fake login page of, let us say, Instagram.com. So now if I show you the actual Instagram.com here, this is how your Instagram login page looks like. And you can say this is legitimate link, www.instagram.com login. Now, guys, using the tools, offensive tools like Zfisher, using these tools, social engineering tools, this is a phishing link that I've generated. So if I go here, can you guys see? Does it look like almost the clone of the real login page of Instagram.com? And you can see here, this is not a legitimate site. This is a fake website. And if you visit this website, guys, if you try to visit this website, you will see that this is a fake, a clone of Instagram.com. And if you enter some credentials here, like I'm writing my name, Ashish and Ashish here, and if I click on login, so as a attacker, I will be able to get to know that the credentials that I wrote here, that you can see Ashish and Ashish. So this is the fake link that I gave it to you in the chat box. So if you want to go, you can click upon that, but definitely do not write your actual credentials there. This is a fake link. Okay. And I will be able to see whatever you wrote in those input fields. So this is how your phishing link works. Okay, so did someone of you wrote this here? My name and the password was my pass. So I, as an attacker, was able to do that. So this is your offensive side, guys. This is what you're performing in pen testing. This is how you're fooling the particular employees in the organization. We are social engineering using these tools. So if you are interested in offensive side, this is what you will be doing. You will be having lots and lots of hands-on. You will be performing these types of interesting practicals, performing ransomware attacks, performing sniffing, performing social engineering. So if you are interested in this, go with the offensive side, become a pen tester, become junior pen tester as an entry level. Then you will go to some specified roles, your red team role, your red team lead. You can also become exploit developer. You can become, many roles are there in offensive side. So I hope these practicals arose your interest also. And now let's move to the defensive side. So in defensive side, guys, what you're doing, you are preventing, you are monitoring, you are detecting, responding against an attack that might be happening to the organization. And here, if you're entering into defensive security, the role that you will be getting, the entry level role that you will be getting, would be into your SOC role. That is your security operation center. So this is like the command center, you can say, where different roles will be there in this SOC, security operation center, where different job roles will be there, and they will be performing different things. So what you will be getting as an entry level? So in the offensive side, it was junior pen tester. In defensive side, you will be getting the role of security analyst. That is your entry level job here. What you will be doing in the security analyst, this is your very first line of defense. So you will be given some tool here, like same tool you will be given. Now, in this tool, what will be you will be doing is you will be seeing the events that are happening in your organization. So event could be normal event also, or it could be malicious event also, right? So your this tool here, you will be monitoring the alerts, you will be investigating the suspicious activity. Maybe you detected some unusual login attempt. That is what you are going to detect in this tool. You are going to detect, you are going to escalate this event, this incident, to other roles that are there, to maybe to the incident response team, like that. Okay. So let us see some roles here. So first, in the SOC team, you will be having SOC manager. So this is your, like, you can say the captain. Like this is the lead here, SOC lead, which is overseeing this whole SOC team. It is ensuring the smooth operation. It is reporting everything to the leaderships. This is the captain, that is a SOC manager, a high level role. So you will not be getting that role. You will be getting an entry level role, that is your security analyst. And that is also your L1 security analyst, level 1 security analyst. Now, as I told you, you will be monitoring the alerts, investigating the activities, suspicious activities in the organization, and escalating it to other job roles in the SOC team. Then we have incident responder. So there you will be, what you will be doing is you will be handling, responding against an incident in your organization. That is incident responder team. IRT team also we can call that. So they can perform, they can confirm the security incident, they can contain the damage, they can restore the systems also later down the line. That is your IRT team. Then threat hunters are also there, proactively searching for hidden threats that are in the organization. Vulnerability as analysts. So they will be identifying and prioritizing the weaknesses in the systems. Forensic analysts. Once the incident has occurred, they will be gathering the evidences. What is the RCA, root cause analysis of this particular incident? Compliance analysts are also there. So these are the ones, they will be ensuring that the organization, they are following all the standards. Like I told you this example of free charge, which was the site free charge there. So auditing can happen, compliance auditing can happen. They will be making sure that organization is following those standards or not. Definitely guys, do take the screenshots of these slides, because I'm just showing you the job roles here. I'm not going to discuss how, what exactly they are doing here. So what is your going to be roadmap in this defensive side? You will be getting the entry level job, that is your security analyst, that is your security analyst, L1 security analyst. Then that will be your first step. If you're going into defensive security, so you will be monitoring all the alerts in the Splunk, in the SIEM tools, in the Sentinel tools. Many tools are there. You'll be investigating for the suspicious activity. After that, once you have gained some experience, then you can be assigned to another team, maybe incident response team. Maybe you can become a threat hunter later on, or down the line you can also become SOC manager, as you'll be gaining the experience. So that is your defensive security roadmap. First, security L1 analyst, then L2 analyst, then you can go with the IRT team, threat hunter, you can become forensic analyst, you can become, like these. You can attain different job roles. Then after that, so these are the two job roles that we discussed. That was offensive security and defensive security. But there are other job roles also in the cybersecurity, because this cybersecurity, this is a whole ecosystem. Okay, this is not just one single career. Depending on your interest and background, you can have specialized areas. So security analyst, that was your in the defensive side. Network security professional, maybe if you want to focus upon securing firewalls, securing your routers, switches, ensuring communication that is happening in the organization securely, you can become a network security professional. Cloud security, this is also very high paying job right now, specializing in securing cloud platforms. So nowadays you would have seen that organizations, they're moving to the cloud. Instead of building their own data center, they are developing their they do not want the capital expenditure, they do not want the capex, they only want the operational expenditure. So what they're doing is, instead of building their own data center, they're just renting the services from the CSPs, cloud service providers, like your AWS, GCP, your Azure. So here, if you are specializing in securing the cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP, that is something very high in demand right now, because companies, organizations, they are shifting to the cloud nowadays. Then application security. If you're interested, or if you're having a background of web application, if you are a mobile developer, if you want to work upon finding and fixing the security flaws in web applications and mobile applications, you can go for this role, application security professional. So these are all the pen testers, like offensive side we are talking about here. Some governance roles, compliance roles are also there, like IAM role, managing your identity and access management, ensuring only the right people have the right access at the right time. That is IAM professional. Security architecture, that is also very high advanced role that you could have. Designing secure systems, designing secure infrastructure. So after gaining some experience, you can also go for this role. Pen tester, we discuss offensive role, finding the vulnerability, conducting pen testing, simulated real world scenarios, attacking scenarios, conducting that. That is your pen tester role. Malware analyzer, you want to analyze the processes, the malicious softwares, reverse engineering. That is, you can become a malware analyzer. Cryptography professional, working on encryption, working on secure communication, working on latest cryptographic protocols, AES protocols, quantum computing right now, working upon that. That is your cryptography professional. So these are different job roles in the cybersecurity, guys. Now, also a very important slide. What is the learning resources? Okay. So here, let me be very, you can say blunt here. Cybersecurity is not something you are going to learn from the textbook. You need to practice, you need to experiment, and you need to stay updated, guys. That is your cybersecurity field. So here, very important resource that you need to know about is your OWASP top 10. So OWASP here, it is a non-profit organization which stands for Open Web Application Security Project. So it is releasing the top 10 vulnerabilities on different fields of cybersecurity. Like if I write here OWASP top 10 for a web application, so here you can see these are the top 10 vulnerabilities in the web application. So it is providing you the particular testing guide with which you can get to know more about what are these vulnerabilities here. That is your OWASP. If you want to go for OWASP top 10, let us say API. API is one. It is also having that OWASP top 10. Let us say for OWASP top 10 mobile. For the mobile field, top 10 vulnerabilities in the mobile application and their mobile application security testing guide. That is also OWASP provide you. Top 10 vulnerabilities that are there. What about LLMs? So right now AI security is also there. So LLM if I write, so this is going to provide you some material, learning material on your OS, on your top 10 vulnerabilities that are in your AI systems. Okay. So this is your top 10. Your prompt injection. How you can fool the chat GPT by injecting some prompts like give me the administrator key like that. Sensitive information disclosure. So all these are the top 10 vulnerabilities that exist in your AI, generative AI apps and resource material you can get from this OWASP. It is a non-profit organization which strives to improve the security of different applications, web application, Gen AIs, cloud applications, mobile applications, you name it, and you have top 10 vulnerabilities for that maintained by OWASP. So very important learning resource, OWASP top 10. You need to go according to your interest. If you're having interest in web application, you can go for that. Then you need to know about operating tools. So these are the tools: Nmap tools, Burp Suite, Metasploit, Wireshark. All these tools hands-on you need to perform. You need to create, solve real problems. Maybe in your home scenario, create a replica. Like you can have install your VMware. So like right now, I showed it to you here. This is the VMware. You can have different machines here. You can set up your home lab environment, and then you can just try to explore more about how you are trying to exploit, what you are going tools are you going to use, explore it from the GitHubs. Different open source tools are there, different exploits are there. Port Secure Academy. So once again, very important. So here you can create a account, and here you can, if you're interested in web application security, so here you will be getting different types of labs on different types of categories, OWASP top 10 categories. SQL injection, different scenarios you will be seeing there. Your CSRF, different scenarios you will be seeing. So you guys can perform these practice sessions here, that is also free from Portugal Labs. So very important learning material if you want to go for web application pen testing. Then bug bounties are also there. You can then go for bug bounties like Bugcrowd, HackerOne, Integrity. These are all platforms. Different forums are there in on Discord, on Reddit. You will find where you can follow the expert advice. You can ask questions, and you will get the answers, expert answers from those community forums. You can have web also, like these try hack me and hack the box. They are paid services, but hub, what you can do is you can go to this site, and there you can go and download these vulnerable virtual machines, install them in your VMware, and you can play around with them. So this is how you can practice. Okay. Then you can also attend security webinars, DEF CON, Black Hat. Webinars are conducted, InfosecTrain, like also conducting free webinars also. You can go for that. And continuous learning, guys. So keep on reading the blogs, new blogs. Keep on staying curious also. What are the new attacks that are happening? It can happen in your organization also. So that is what you need to have. This continuous learning, it is the must have if you want to make career in cybersecurity, as I'm already continuously repeating this particular point in many slides I have repeated there. Now, guys, let us see. Okay, you, as I told you, fine, you went with these learning resources, you completed all these prerequisites. What now? Will your resume, will your resume, will it going to be shortlisted by the team, by the AI, by the HR? Will you be able to get the entry level role? So for this, you need to show that yes, I am proficient. I have performed. I know these basic skills that we discussed, their prerequisites that we discussed. I know these things. I know basics of offensive security, of defensive security. How you can prove your skills, how you can make sure your resumes get shortlisted, that is via certifications. So these are the certifications you need to have, some basic fundamentals. Now these certifications, I will not say that you need to have, must have it. You can also, via your free resources that I showed you, free learning resources, you can go for that. Like certified in cybersecurity, A plus, where you're learning about system booting up, hardware, how it works, basics of Linux, basics of networking, how it is happening. So you can also do that on your own from the internet. Different paths are there, learning resources are there on OneHub, on TryHackMe. You can go for that. You will find ample resources self-sufficiently. You can go for it. But if you need a certain path, you need a specific path you need to follow, then you can clear your basic fundamentals using these certifications also: CC, A plus, Linux plus, and Network plus. Now, guys, maybe the most important statement that I'm going to put up here in the whole webinar. If you are interested in offensive side, CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, is the certification you need to go for. If you are interested in defensive side, CompTIA Security Plus is the certification you can go for. These are the entry level certification for offensive side and secure and defensive side respectively. So for the role of junior pen tester, your pen testers in the offensive side, CEH will help you to get your resume shortlisted, to get to the interview table where you can showcase your skill. And for defensive side, if you want to go to become security analyst in your SOC team, Security Plus is the certification which will help your resume getting shortlisted, getting it to the interview table. There you can show your skills there. Keeping this in mind, let us focus more upon offensive side now. So in offensive side, after you have completed your CEH also, then you can also go for EJPT. And after EJPT, we have OSCP. So this is very well reputed certification you can go for in the offensive side. Definitely, once you have 2 years of experience, you can go for this offensive, this OSCP certification. So that later down the line, I told you more specific roles were also there. Red teaming operators, red team lead, your exploit developer. So you can get those roles also once you clear these intermediate certifications. Then we have defensive security. So in that, security plus, as I told you, and you can also go for CYSA plus also. So these are the two certifications you can have. Then after that, we also have GCIA, GCIH, blue team level one. These certifications also you can go for. So these are your certification list. And now let us look into more intermediate and advanced certifications also. That is here. If you want, if you are not interested like in very technical part, okay, you want to go into a domain which is dealing with the policies, dealing with the risk management, compliance and governance. So these are the certifications you can go for. So after clearing your basics or from CC, you can go for SSCP, CRISC, C, CISA, CISM. All these are intermediate certificates. And after that, you can go for CISSP, that is advanced one. If you're interested in cloud security, you can go for these certificates, entry level to mid certificates. That is your Microsoft Azure, your AWS Cloud Practitioner. After that, you can move for CCSP, Certified Cloud Security Professional. This is very important certificate for you to climb up the ladder in your cloud security specialist roles that you will be having. Then, if you want to go for data privacy and compliance, because you know privacy is no longer optional, you can have these certificates: CIPP, Certified Information Privacy Professional, CIPT. Some mid ones are also there: CIPM, DPDP Act, your certified privacy management one certificate that is there. Then DPDP Act is also there. Advanced one is CDPSE, Data Privacy Security Engineer. So that is what certificates you can opt for. So if you're looking for entry level role, these are the certifications you need to go for. Okay. And for AI one, AI technology one, we have Microsoft AI Fundamentals and ISC Square AI in Cybersecurity Fundamentals. So this is a foundation one. After that, you can go for these intermediate one like AIGP, AI Governance Professional, Certified AI Governance Professional. You can opt for. Okay, so these are the certification roadmap here. After that, maybe the slide that all of you guys are waiting for, and that is what will be your salary, right? So cybersecurity, it is not only in demand, but it is also very well paying compared if you are comparing it to other IT roles. So salary will vary depending on your skill, depending on the level of certifications you have cleared, depending upon the experience, and also on the location. So entry level, like if you're a fresher, if you are having maybe getting a junior pen tester role or SOC analyst L1 role, so you can expect the salary between 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Okay. Once you gain the experience, maybe in 1 or 2 years, you can get a specialized role. So as I told you, specialized role, like which roles you can get? Maybe malware analyzer role, maybe your forensic analyst role, threat hunter role, incident response role. So once you will get these specialized roles, then how much salary you can expect? So you can expect the salary between your 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs in between. After 2 years, you can expect it between that category. Then after that, you have some senior roles also. So what senior roles you can have? like your security architect, your cloud security specialist, your red teamer you want to become. SOC, in the SOC also different specialized roles are there. SOC lead you want to become. You become that. Then the salary you can expect here, it could be between your 11 lakhs, could go up to 24 lakhs also. It could be in between that. Then after that, yes, some high paying roles are also there. Like if you become SOC security architect, you become maybe application security lead manager or offensive security manager. Maybe you become a consultant, senior manager, threat hunting lead or red team lead you became. So in that case, your salary could be between 40 lakhs to 60 lakhs also. But definitely very experience is required to get to those roles. At least 10 years of experience needs you need to have for getting those roles there. So this is your whole salary structure. Entry level between 0 to 2 years you can get between 3 to 5 lakhs. After that you will be getting 6 to 9 lakhs. Then more specialized role you will be get between 12 lakhs to 24 lakhs, in between, anywhere it could be around that. And then more specialized role, you can get between 24 lakhs to 60 lakhs, depending upon what roles you'll be having. Like if you are in the big four, there are big four consulting companies, that is your EY, Deloitte, PwC, and KPMG. So if you're getting some consultant role or some very high role in those companies, you can expect your salary between 24 to 60 lakhs, in between there. So cybersecurity is offering you very fast salary growth. Okay, within year, if you're skilling up yourselves, your also certifications can be provided by your organization also. They will also want you to skill up. So once you will clear those certifications, you will be climbing up the ladders. You will also be, unlike other IT fields where salary jumps are very slow, here earning skills will be, you will be having very quickly, because skills and certifications you will be acquiring. You will be learning and specializing different things. So sky is the limit here in case of salaries. But you need to know that this cybersecurity is only going to reward you, because it is a skill oriented field. As I told you once again, here continuous learning is very much required. You need to know art of googling. You need to have persistent in you. That is, you need to be able to, like, live with the computers. You'll be working with the computers only, servers only there. So if you can do that, then it is very rewarding field as. So with this, guys, I have given you what is the summary. I have given you why cybersecurity is needed, why CIA tried information security, what is that, what is cybersecurity. After that, we discussed prerequisites you need to have if you want to enter into your cybersecurity field, the pathways that we discussed, some official pathways are there. Then tracks. Offensive side you can choose. You can become pen tester, entry level. Defensive side you can become SOC analyst. Specialized roles are also there. Cloud security analyst, GRC, privacy, AI roles are also there. Then certifications you will go for fundamentals one. You can or may not, like that. I will depend upon you. You can go for these certifications, or you can also skip it. You can self learn also. But after that, if you want to go to offensive side, you need to have CEH, and defensive side you need to have security plus, so that your resume can be shortlisted. You can get to know, you can get shortlisted and you can have the interview sessions there. So for offensive security plus CEH and for defensive security plus is the must go. Now resources, free resources, I told you these are the ones. Try to attend conferences, try to attend InfosecTrain free events. That happens. And after that, the career, how your career can go grow from entry levels job where you can get the 3 to 5 lakh per annum to mid analyst responder, you can become 6 to 12 lakhs, to specialist roles to 15 to 40 lakhs, and leadership roles, consultant roles also you can get leadership roles 40 to 60 lakhs afterwards. So here I'll be summing up what we learned here. In your resume, you need to have your fundamentals, you need to have your hands-on skills, home lab setups, certifications in your resumes, and then you will be able to get into this barrier, into the cybersecurity barrier, and that will be the success formula. Your journey will start. After that, you will be continuously learning, building up more and more skills, climbing up the ladder like this, and you will be also getting up a good package afterwards.